What's good, party people? Christopher with the Hope Easy Life. And let me ask you a question. During your day, how often do you have to say no to doing what you want to do because of something that you have to do? How often would you like to maybe go out to lunch with friends in the middle of the workday, but you got to stay punched in, you got to stay on the premises, you got to do what your boss tells you to do? How often do the kids have something going on? A practice, a game, a recital, whatever the case may be, but you've got to miss it. And maybe your spouse or your partner is going to record it so you can watch it later, but you can't actually go to it. How many times do you want to take a vacation, but your bank account says you can't? How often do you look at maybe upgrading your vehicle or just doing repairs on it because it needs new tires, the brakes are kind of squealy, but you can't? If you're like most people, pretty darn often, constantly, throughout the day, because obviously most people, most of us end up getting stuck in this time for money trap. We get told from a young age that money doesn't grow on trees. If you want to live a good life, you got to do good in school, you got to go to college, you got to get a good job, and then if you buy these good things, you're going to have a good life. But then we find out that's not how it actually works. You go to college, you rack up this mountain of debt, and all of a sudden you're a slave to that debt. You have to maintain a certain amount of income just to pay the debt back. Your job, the wages, don't keep up with inflation. So the reality is you get paid less over time. Now, of course, this isn't fully universal, but this is applicable to the vast majority of people, not just in America, but around the entire world. This is something that I've lived firsthand. Now, my story is a little bit different than some, but not that different from a lot of people's. Now, I went to college, and then I dropped out, then I went back, and then I dropped out again because I was highly self-destructive. I had a massive drug and alcohol problem because I was never okay having to pretend to care about the things I had to pretend to care about in order to be successful in these various jobs that I had. You know, I spent a lot of years working in restaurants, server, bartender, manager, etc. I've sold various things, you know, from advertising sales to cars to insurance. And in most of these positions, my time was dictated to me. I had to be at the dealership 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. Previously, when I sold insurance, which I currently do sell insurance, but I'm an independent agent versus prior, I was working 12, 16-hour days, 6, 7 days a week. When I was managing a restaurant, I was working 12-plus-hour days, 6 days a week. This was a crazy grind, and the only way that I could do it was to escape reality through drugs and alcohol. And obviously, when you escape reality through drugs and alcohol, eventually you burn down your life. And I've done that multiple times over. And I thought I was stuck. I thought there was no way out. I thought that I had to work for somebody else, get paid whatever they were going to pay me, and that was just going to be my life. I wasn't going to be able to do the things I wanted to do. I wasn't going to be able to spend time with the people I wanted to spend time with. I wasn't going to be able to travel the way I wanted to travel. This was just life. And I became, relegated and resigned to that fact. Does that sound like you at all? Have you just sort of accepted that your lot in life is your lot in life? And it is what it is. What a gross phrase that is. It is what it is. Now, I bring all of this up because as of today, I am living a life of autonomy. If a friend texts me and says, hey, let's go grab a bite to eat, and it's in the middle of the day, guess what I do? I go grab a bite to eat with them. If all of a sudden, I wake up in the morning and I decide, you know what? It's a beautiful day outside. I'm gonna go climb a mountain. Guess what I do? I go climb a mountain. If I've got a friend across the country who calls me up and says, hey, we've got this really cool, thing going on. You should come visit us if you're able to. Guess what I do? I go visit them because I have control over my life. And the whole point of me having control over my life and the way that I've gained control over my life is by focusing on serving other people. And it's through that service to others that I make these videos, this entire push of this content that I've been putting out lately. The entire purpose of my book, Deadbeat to Easy Street, Escaping the Time for Money Trap, available for pre-order now, released on the 29th, paperback and hardcover on the 31st. The entire purpose of that is to teach other people what I had to spend decades of my life learning the hard way. I've been to jail in 3 different states because of my alcohol and drug addiction and mental health problems. I've been prescribed dozens of medication for depression and anxiety and things like this. I don't take anything today. I live off of God and service to other people. It makes me alive. And the funny thing about it is, despite the fact that I can do whatever I want whenever I want, I choose to work. I choose to serve. And I'm so alive in doing so because I am the one dictating it. And if for whatever reason I'm having a bad day or I find myself in a funky mood, I stop working. I go for a walk. I take the day off. And you know who tells me, hey, you can't take that day off? Nobody. Not a single person on this planet dictates what I do with my time. Would you like to have that kind of a life? If you would, pick up a copy of my book, Deadbeat to Easy Street, link in the description. Go check out my website, hopezy.life, hopezy.life, also in the description. You can reach out to me on my calendar. You can work with me one-on-one, and we can get you set up. Now, I've got a couple programs in which people can work with me. Not everything's going to be for everyone, but there's a donation-based model where I work with people who simply maybe don't have the funds to pay me my going rate. And then I have a more premium program, which is $3,000 per month to work with me in a more intensive way, where I will help you write the script for the life that you want to live so you're not stuck living according to somebody else's script. Allow you to not only be the main character in your life, but to be the director and the producer of your life. Because for most of us, we lack the autonomy. And because we lack that autonomy, we're simply a background character that somebody else has written the lines for. We have to go to this place at this time. We have to do this thing at this time. We have to forego what we want to do in order to do what we need to do. And this is a life that gets people trapped. This is what leads to despair, demoralization, depression, anxiety. It's what makes people uncomfortable in their own skin, not living their fullest life, wondering what's the point of all of this? And I get it because I've been there. I'm almost 41 years old and it took me almost all of these years to figure this out. But here's the cool thing. You can figure it out much quicker than that without the pain that I had to go through. You don't have to destroy yourself with drugs and alcohol, and thank God I've reached 9 years sober at this point and counting. You don't have to go to jail in multiple states. You don't have to sacrifice family, lose a marriage and a child. You don't have to suffer in the ways that I've suffered in order to build the life that I've built for myself, for yourself. And so again, I encourage you and I ask you this question. Are you willing to do what is required for you to live that life? For you to gain ownership over your life, for you to have autonomy and freedom, for you to constantly have a giant smile on your face, for people to look at you because you're just so happy and content and present in the moment that you look like an alien. It's one of my favorite things when I'm out and about, seeing people that just look at me because I'm at peace. I'm not sitting there anxiously scrolling on my phone. I'm not doing things like this. I'm not always rushing around and not even present in the moment. I'm always in the moment because I am in control of my life. And that is the gift I want to give to you. So if you'd like to receive that gift, show the video some love with the algorithm. Do what you got to do. Again, check out my website, pick up a copy of my book, and reach out to me. I look forward to talking to you. I look forward to helping you live that life that you deserve, that your family deserves, that your kids deserve, that your friends deserve. Because that's what I'm on this planet to do, is to serve other people on a massive scale. So we'll talk to you soon. Peace.